Good evening. In the last hour, Peter Mandelson has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office and taken in for questioning by the Metropolitan Police. He was escorted from his home in central London to an undisclosed police station. The former ambassador to the US was sacked in September after information emerged in the Jeffrey Epstein files regarding his ongoing friendship with a convicted paedophile and the alleged leaking of confidential government information while he was business secretary. The BBC understands he denies engaging in any criminal activity and that he was not motivated by financial gain. The details of this story are still emerging, but here's the latest from Daniel Sanford.
Accompanied by two police officers who had just arrested him, Lord Mandelson being led to an unmarked car and being taken away to a police station for questioning. Minutes later, the Metropolitan Police confirmed that they had arrested a 72-year-old man on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The investigation of Lord Mandelson began 2.5 weeks ago with searches of his London home in Camden and his second home in Wiltshire. It was triggered by emails in the Epstein files, allegedly showing Lord Mandelson communicating with Jeffrey Epstein himself. In one, Epstein allegedly asks about rumours about a proposed EU bailout during the financial crisis, and Mandelson allegedly replies, "should be announced tonight." He also seems to forward an interesting note that had gone to the Prime Minister. Lord Mandelson had known Epstein since the early 2000s. In one message in a birthday book, he called him his best pal. They remained in contact after Epstein was jailed for prostituting a 14-year-old girl. But despite that, the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, appointed Lord Mandelson as ambassador to Washington before removing him from that post in September. Lord Mandelson had been seen as somebody who could get close to President Donald Trump and who knew about trade deals from his time as EU Trade Commissioner. Lord Mandelson has not commented publicly in recent weeks on the Epstein files, but the BBC understands his position has consistently been that he's not acted in any way criminally and that he was not motivated by financial gain. He's not been charged with any crime.
Well, Daniel's with me here now. So information is still coming in about this, Daniel, but what more can you tell us about the arrest?
It was just after 4:15 this afternoon that a BBC team who were outside Lord Mandelson's house at the time saw officers arriving there. They looked very clearly to be police officers, but although they were wearing suits, they seemed to have these body-worn cameras on their jackets, which is a strong indication that they might have been police officers. That obviously alerted us to the possibility that something was happening. Not long after that, Lord Mandelson was effectively led from the house into this car and driven off. And it didn't take long after that for the Metropolitan Police to release this confirmation that a 72-year-old man had been arrested at his home in Camden and had been taken away to a police station for questioning. Now, how long that question will be, we simply don't know. I think for a crime like this, what we call a sort of white-collar crime, it's not that likely to be an overnight stay. It's likely to be a few hours, because obviously this is still quite early stages of this investigation. And in fact, there are many parallels between this and the Andrew investigation in that once that initial questioning has happened, it could then be that there's a lot more work that the detectives need to do before they then come up with any decision about where the investigation goes. The investigation's been run by an organisation within the Met called Central Specialist Crime, and the nub of the allegation against Lord Mandelson is that he allegedly was sharing market-sensitive information with his friend Jeffrey Epstein.
Daniel, thank you. Well, we can speak now to our political editor, Chris Mason. And Chris, we're beginning to get used to falls from grace following the release of the Epstein files, but this is still quite a moment.
It really is, yeah. Just a year ago, Lord Mandelson was a matter of weeks into one of the marquee jobs that can be bequeathed by the British state, His Majesty's ambassador to Washington. There he was amid the glamour and the splendour and the access to power. I was there in the British Embassy in Washington a few weeks into his stint, and he was clearly revelling in yet another high-profile role in British government. And where are we tonight? He is in a police station facing questions. This towering figure of the contemporary Labour Party, who worked for the former leader Lord Kinnock, who was a cabinet minister twice under Tony Blair, who was Gordon Brown's first Secretary of State, tonight finds himself, perhaps right now, across a table with police officers on the other side of that table, asking him questions in a criminal investigation. We should emphasise, as we've already reported, that Lord Mandelson has not commented publicly since the release of the Epstein files. It's my understanding that he does not believe he has acted criminally, and nor did he act for his own financial gain.